every day, one by one, I'm gonna try every recipe of Laura, starting from the very beginning. Come, join me on my challenge. Let's go! Hi everyone! My name is Ruta and welcome to the 49th day of my challenge, where I'm so happy about the timing of this recipe because it just so happens that I have some apples from my friend's garden and I'm gonna try an apple pie today. Like, how cool is that? So before we get into the ingredients, I have to mention that this recipe calls for some vegetable shortening, which if you've watched some videos of mine before, you might know that I just cannot find it here in Iran. So as always, I'm gonna be substituting it with the equal amount of butter. But other than that, let's go over all the ingredients and awesome apples and let's get started. We're gonna need, for the pie crust, we're gonna need 400 grams of flour, 250 grams of butter, 100 grams of which should be vegetable shortening, cut into small cubes, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and some ice water. For the filling, we're gonna need 6 big apples, or in my case I have 12 because they're really small, 150 grams of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, zest of 1 medium orange, and 1 egg mixed with 2 tablespoons of water. And for the topping, we're gonna need 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon mixed together. Let's start by making the pie crust. And here there's one catch. It's really important that you would keep all of the ingredients for the pie crust in the fridge for at least an hour before actually starting, because Laura says they need to be really cold for the pie crust to turn out really nice. So that's what I did, and now I'm gonna make it in the same exact way how she did. I have my food processor ready with a blade attachment. I'm gonna take all of the ingredients except for water, so that's flour, butter, salt, and sugar. I'm gonna put them all into the... what's that? I just said it. Oh, food processor. And I'm gonna pulse. Now Laura says it should take around 10 to 12 pulses to reach what you wanna reach. That is the butter being the size of a small piece. So let's count away. Okay, so it took me 15 pulses to reach what I wanted to reach, and now I'm gonna start adding up ice cold water, tablespoon at a time through the feeding tube while pulsing, and it should take around 6 to 10 tablespoons of water. And what I'm looking for is for the dough to come together once I pinch it. Okay, so I've added 10 tablespoons in total. Now I'm gonna take the dough, dump it on these couple of pieces of plastic wrap, and form a ball. And now I'm gonna divide it into 2 parts, one being a little bit bigger than the other one. I'm gonna plastic wrap them individually, form a ball of course, and I'm gonna put them into the fridge for 30 minutes. Okay, and in the meantime, let's prepare the apples by peeling them, coring them, and slicing them thinly. totally forgot to mention this in the ingredients list. This is 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and I'm gonna toss apples with it, which will prevent them from turning brown. And while we're at it, let's make our hands even dirtier. So I'm gonna now cover the apples with the sugar, flour, cinnamon, salt, nutmeg, and the orange zest. I'm gonna mix with my hands until every single piece of apple is really nicely coated with everything. Oh my gosh, it smells so nice. I'm totally in love with these recipes. I'm already waiting for Christmas. As we still have some time, let's prepare the pan. So I should use a glass pie plate, which I don't really have, so I'm planning to employ my tart pan, which is 23 centimeters in diameter, and as it has a removable bottom, I'm planning to kinda cover it with aluminum foil from the bottom, so if anything wants to spill, it wouldn't. And then I'm gonna lightly spray it with non-stick cooking spray, and we will have our plate ready. At this point, I've turned on my oven to preheat to 220 degrees. I've taken out the smaller ball, and I've taken additional flour to flour the surface. And now I'm gonna roll out the bottom pie crust. So I'm gonna roll it out a little bit bigger so that there would be 2-3 centimeters overhanging the pan. Okay, well, the first try, oh well. So now I'm gonna cut off the excess, leaving only, well, 2.5 maybe centimeters. And guess what I'm gonna do? Okay, and now let's add in the apples. Ooh, I think I'm gonna get rid of that water. Was a good call with that aluminum foil, I think. Okay, now let's roll out the top of the pie crust. And now again, I want 2-3 centimeters overhanging, the same as the bottom one. And now I'm gonna pinch the two. And now I'm gonna tuck it under into the pan. And now I'm gonna crimp together and make kind of like a, with a finger. How is she doing? Something like that. So I'm gonna make like a nice pie corner. Oh, that looks so pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna make 4 slits, air pockets in here. And I'm gonna brush the top with the egg wash everywhere and sprinkle with the cinnamon sugar. My camera totally died on me in the very end, but you missed very little, so no worries. What I finished doing is brushing the top with the egg wash and then sprinkling the cinnamon sugar, and now I put it on the baking sheet lined with aluminum foil, again just in case anything spills, and I'm gonna put it into the oven for 1 hour. But I'm gonna be checking on it every 15 minutes or so because the edges might start browning up too quickly. In such case, I'm gonna line them, cover them with some aluminum foil, which I haven't actually figured out how I'm gonna do that, but oh well, I have 15 minutes until then. So into the oven it goes for 1 hour. It's been 40 minutes and I'm kinda afraid that it's starting to burn. Now I'm puzzled. Should I cover it all with aluminum foil or is it ready? Okay, so I've covered the border with aluminum foil and I've decided to reduce the temperature maybe to 200 because I already have black spots, like kind of darker burnt spots, and I'm afraid that in 20 minutes it will just burn. Okay, so it's been 50 minutes, I've taken it out because I'm just afraid it's burning. But I think it's done. So now the super boring part. I'm gonna wait 2 hours before actually cutting in. Oh, so finally it's been 2 hours. So let's take it out and put it on a plate. Oh, come on. Seriously, this waiting 2 hours was totally worth it because in such way the pie holds its form. If we were to cut into it earlier, it would have totally ran out on us. So that's one. Okay, I had some time. I even have a list of things I want to say. In those 2 hours, I thought about a couple of things. First and foremost is how proud I am of myself. This is the first time I rolled out a pie crust. I made it all from scratch, and even though, okay, the bottom pie crust was a little bit thinner and the top one was a little bit thicker, and I had, I think, for one more pie, one layered pie, this dough left, but still, I'm so proud of myself. With practice, I'm sure I will get better, but for the first time, this is an amazing result. The next thing I wanted to say is about the temperature. As you saw, 220 felt like a little bit too high of a temperature. After what, 40 minutes, I believe, I reduced it to 200 and I took it out after 50 minutes in total. So I think next time, because I'm pretty sure from the smells of it that there will be a next time, I'm gonna bake in 200 degrees from the very beginning, or maybe even 180, I don't know. It's just a little darker than it's supposed to be, but I still want to try it so much. Okay, what else? Oh, about the time. This recipe is, well, a bit time consuming, I won't lie. So what I'm thinking, after trying it, it would be a good idea to make this pie crust in advance. Laura says she makes a huge batch, triple or even quadruple, I believe that's how it's pronounced, a batch of this pie crust, and she just freezes it. So whenever you want, you just take it out and roll it out. Because now I had to wait 1 hour once I put the ingredients for the pie crust in the fridge, and then I had to wait 30 additional minutes for it to become colder, and then you wait in the end 2 hours. It's a lot of hours to wait, so I think it would be a good idea if this is a nice recipe, which I'm pretty sure it will be, to make just a little bit more pie crusts and, well, to be ready. Okay, and then what else I want? That's it. I mentioned everything. Let's try. It will be so good. It's totally like Christmas in my home. It's so cool. In addition to fresh apples, oh man, it's so good. You can totally feel this citrusy feel to it. It's from that orange zest, and I'm pretty sure that lemon juice had to do with it a little bit too. But it's so good. Oh man, this is so good. It's so perfect. And okay, now it's a little bit like crunchy, but I believe if the temperature for my oven was right, it would be a little bit softer maybe. Yeah, the top is definitely a bit crunchy, but it's not burned. That's good. Christmas, I feel like Christmas, totally. I really hope you had fun, because that was a really nice, well, wintry, Christmassy episode for me, even though it's kind of warm still, but the smells and the taste, it's so good. Go and check the original recipe, go look at the written one in the description, and definitely give this one a try. Just as I mentioned, make maybe the pie crust in advance. That way you will save time and it won't feel that long. But other than that, this is perfect. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a day. Bye!